Could Celtic actually be in trouble over the Scottish Premiership as they fail to win again? But who's going to stop Rangers from making it back-to-back titles? We'll talk about that and more next. That's right, folks, back once again on a prediction video today. We're looking forward to match day number 8 in the Scottish Premiership, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe and get bang out today with all things Scottish Premiership related, Blackburn Rose related, world football related. We got it all here on the Walrooski. Of course, Rangers keep up the heat at the top of the table, but of course Celtic are finding it hard under the new coach, Ange Postecoglou. But of course, will he still be there by the end of the calendar year, let alone the end of the season? We'll talk about that and more, of course, in a second. Of course, big shout out to my VRPs. I'm talking about my Patreons. Big shout out to you guys for, of course, supporting the channel behind the scenes. But anyway, let's get cracking. A lot to talk about here, of course, including these results last round. And kicking it all off with Celtic up against bloody Dundee United. Of course, it was a 1-1 draw, of course, yes. Celtic sitting in mid-table, 6th spot. In fact, Dundee United are above them at the moment in 5th. I've got a lot of work to do to see them get themselves back in the title race. But of course, I went with a 3-0 win myself. Meanwhile, Dundee against Rangers was a 1-0 win for Rangers, who go top of the pops by 1 point over the likes of Hibs and Hearts as well. So it's realistically, Rangers are looking over their shoulders at Hibs, Hearts, Motherwell, and of course Dundee United maybe. Of course, as for Hearts, they did pick up a big win against Livingston, 3-0 win for them. Hibs also picked up a narrow win over St Johnstone, 1-0, and of course Motherwell did beat Ross County 2-1. And of course Aberdeen did lose to St Mirren. Goodness gracious me, got myself 4 there. Of course, they didn't get the top or the bottom one, but of course not too shabby for me. As to the table as it stands, of course Rangers are of course 1 point clear over Hibs and Hearts. And of course Motherwell not too far away either. Dundee United, of course, above Celtic, who are in trouble. Of course, at the foot of the table is Dundee going down at the moment with Ross County. Livingston also in the discussion as well. Let's take a look at the prediction league for this week. I got myself 4, which would have put me up and top bananas with Paul, with Yannick, with Deepak, with Alex, with Mac, with Shane, with Gaming, with Ferius. But of course, we'll have to wait and see who comes out on top of that as well. As for the overall prediction league, or here it is, coming at you, the kingpin at the moment is Alex, well over 25 points on the board so far. It is, of course, early bloody days. But who is the predictor of the month for September? Well, here it is. Let's talk a bit about it. Of course, the winner of the predictor of the month, it could be one, it could be multiples of you, will get a Willy Wonka style entrance to the grand prize draw at the end of the season. And the grand prize draw will be either a t-shirt, $10 gift card, something along those lines. Now, I did say you could be multiple winners, and you could also win multiple months. So that's the gist of it. So who is the predictor of the month? Of course, the predictor of the month is the guy or person or persons who got the most points in the calendar month of September. So here is your predictor or predictors of the month for September. It is Yannick Bostler. Well done to you, sir. Well done indeed. So you joined the likes of Alex Weller in the Scottish Wall of Fame. That's right. Of course, both of you guys are in the hat at the moment for the end of the season prize draw. Of course, which could be something, whatever, spectacular, or could be pretty shit. We'll see what's in the grotto later in the season. But of course, that's that. Of course, you can get involved with the next month, which is of course the month of October. Lots of games, lots of matches to look forward to, and again, it's free to enter cut/Scott. So we'll see about that next. But we'll kick it all off right here, right now, with the next look at the next round of matches. Kick it all off with Aberdeen up against Celtic, of course, over at Pittodrie. That takes place on Sunday. Measured 100 times, there's 96, just 11 wins for Aberdeen, 80 wins for Celtic, and 9 draws. Big swing for Aberdeen, 4-2 win. The big swing their way was a 9-0 win. Of course, Aberdeen covered this 3 defeats on the bounce. Meanwhile, Celtic just 1 win in 4 for them. But Celtic has got better form than Aberdeen. Surprise! That's probably a relief for them to hear that. Of course, that's the pressure in Pittodrie. It was a 1-1 draw for both of them back in April 2021. Of course, Celtic did come back in that draw against Dundee United. Of course, Aberdeen did come back in that loss against St Mirren. Of course, Celtic will take on Leverkusen this week as well over in Glasgow. So it could be a rough week for them this week. Odds on this one though: Aberdeen 11-2, but 58 on is your Celtic. I'm going to go with Celtic on this one, even though their form is shit. I do think they'll bounce back, and of course, against a team like Aberdeen who are struggling themselves, with of course Stephen Glass at the helm. Of course, Scott Brown up against his old club. That'll be interesting. Is he playing? I don't even know if he's playing. Anyway, of course, next up we have Dundee United taking on Ross County on Saturday, October the 2nd. Pressure 30 times since 2007, 18 wins for Dundee United. Of course, 8 wins for Ross County and 4 draws. Biggest win for Dundee United, 3-0 win. The biggest win in the way was a 5-1 win. Of course, Dundee United coming to just 1 win in 5 for them. Meanwhile, Ross County without winning 6. Last time they played each other over in Dundee. Was in the relegation Premier League Premiership relegation round. It was a 2-0 for Ross County. Of course, that was back in May 2021. Ross County did lose to Motherwell last round. Meanwhile, Dundee picked up a draw against Celtic, of course. The odds, even Stevens for Dundee United, 23-10. It's draw 3-1 is your long shots. That's Ross County on this. I'm going to go with a win for Dundee United, of course, which could put them up to 4th in the table, of course, but we'll see how that pans out. Of course, next up, of course, we have our Hearts, of course, taking on Motherwell. This will take place over at Tynecastle. Played 93 times. They've done 94, 42 wins for Hearts, 31 wins for Motherwell, and 20 draws. Biggest win for Hearts, 6-0 win. The biggest win in their way was a 6-1 win. Hearts unbeaten the last 5, of course. Meanwhile, Motherwell also unbeaten the last 5. In fact, much better form. Motherwell at the moment, winning 4 out of the past 5. Meanwhile, Hearts just won 2 out of the last 5. Of course, heading into this one, last time over at Tynecastle was a 1-1 draw back in March 2020. Of course, Hearts did pick up a win against Livingston. Meanwhile, Motherwell picked up a win against Ross County last round. Look at the odds on this one. We have Hearts 6-4 on for the victory. 4-1 is your long shots as Motherwell 3-5 is draw. Type on this one. Going to go with a 3-1 win there for Hearts. Of course, they've got their spring in their step, and of course they could actually they go top of the pops? They could go top of the pops if everything else goes their way. In fact, it's a tight one, this one. Next up, of course, we have Livingston. They're going to be taking on St Mirren, of course, over in Livingston. These two sides played 23 times since 2015. 10 wins for Livingston, 9 wins for St Mirren, and 4 draws. Biggest win for Livingston, 4-1 win. The biggest win was a 3-1 win. Livingston just 1 win in 6 for them. Meanwhile, 1 win in 6 also for St Mirren. Last time played over at the Tony Macaroni Stadium was back in August 2021. Early in the season was a 4-3 win for Livingston. Last time played in the league in Livingston was a 2-1 win for Livingston back in February 2020. Livingston did lose to Hearts last time around. They also St Mirren did beat Aberdeen 3-2 last time around. Look at the odds on this one. We have Livingston 11-8 for the victory, 22-10 draw, 2-1 away win. That's St Mirren. 1-0 win for Livingston on this one. Take to the house. Big win for them. Of course, moving the chains. Next up, of course, Rangers. That's first up against Hibs, who are second, of course, top of the table. Crunch clash. These two sides, according to my eyes, played each other 96 times in 994. 61 wins for Rangers, just 20 wins for Hibs, and 15 draws. Biggest win for Rangers, 7-0 win. The biggest win there was a 4-0 win. Rangers coming to just 1 defeat last 6 games. Meanwhile, Hibs unbeaten in the last 6. Both coming to 75% form. Of course, last time played each other over at Ibrox was a 2-1 win for Rangers back in April 2021. Rangers did beat Dundee last round. Hibs beat St Johnstone 1-0 as well last round. Of course, and I fancy the chances as well. They've got the spring in the step. Of course, heading into this one, odds are Rangers are 10-3 on the eye. Your red hot favourites 9-1 is your way win. That's Hibs, of course, 70-4 is your draw. I'm going to go with a win though for Rangers. Unfortunately, I'd love to see Hibs get a result. If they get a result, you just don't know. You just don't bloody know. Next, of course, we have St Johnstone up against Dundee, the final match of this weekend's action. Played each other 56 times in 998, 24 wins to St Johnstone, 16 wins to Dundee, and 16 draws. Biggest win for St Johnstone, 4-0 win. The biggest win in the other way was a 3-0 win. Of course, coming into this one, last time around, over at St Johnstone was a 2-0 win for St Johnstone. That was back in April 2019. Alrighty, of course, last time around over in St Johnstone was a 2-0 win for St Johnstone. That was back in April 2019. St Johnstone did lose to Hibs last time around. Dundee also lost to Rangers. Look at the odds on this one. St Johnstone 2017 on. They are favourites 5-2 is draw, and of course 10-3 is your Dundee. Of course, they are bottom of the table on this one. Gonna go with a win for St Johnstone, 2-1 win in the end to take to the house. That's my picks, of course, for this match day. Because get your own picks in using the code Cutley for Scott. That's right. Of course, it is free to enter. Could you be the predictor of the month for the month of October? Well, of course, you gotta be in it to win it. It is free to enter. Of course, get involved. Of course, see if you can be there at the end of the month. But until then, give us some love. Until then, smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe, check the links down on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and of course, Patreon as well. All in the description. Until then, we are done.